Hey everyone. Hello. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and we are here for brunch with the Cricut Joy. I'm just getting all my stuff in here to get ready to go. This is the beginning of a new week. This past week we had 7 days of the week. We had Cricut Chat. Last night we had one on YouTube. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, you'd need to head over to YouTube for that. But that was kind of an exception. And we're going to continue to be live on Facebook during the week, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And then on Sundays at 1 p.m. for our Joy projects. I haven't decided what to do about Saturday nights, so we will see. Last night we made these fairy lights, which could be done on the Joy because I cut out these fairy decals, and we used alcohol inks. This was a pearlized alcohol ink. We used some solar lights. Here's another one. Some solar lights in there so that when it gets dark, these will light up like this. And we had such a blast. So if you didn't catch that, head on over to YouTube to watch it, okay? Let's see. During the week, we made so many things. The big news was I finally figured out my sublimation printer, and I made this adorable corgi mermaid mug with the mug press, the new mug press. I also made a couple of other ones, and I'm going to be going over this in the week coming up. So if you want to learn how to use sublimation printer using sublimation ink it's not necessary, you don't need to do it, but it's sort of an advanced thing that I'm going to show you how to do it. Also this week, we are going to be making extra large. I just found this out. We're going to be making extra large crepe paper flowers. This is something that we can cut crepe paper on the Cricut Maker, but this particular project is going to be not using the Cricut. So we're going to discuss that, when to use the Cricut, when not to use the Cricut to make extra large. Hi, Nikki, to make extra large blossoms, because I am in need of flowers now that it is spring. It's still very gray around here. We did a couple of really fun St. Patrick's Day projects, including we did iron-on tile, we did iron-on paper, and I'm trying to think what else we did this week. We did a lot of stuff. Oh, we made Easter houses, and it was a lot. So if you haven't had a chance to watch them all, they're all on the YouTube channel, and I would encourage you to subscribe, share it with a friend that might like it, and comment. We had giveaways last night. I do my giveaways based on either people interacting with me either on Facebook in groups or on YouTube in comments. And by the way, I don't think I heard from Vicky, and I'm going to say her name wrong. Vicky with IE, Vickie. Lachney. She was a winner last night, Lachney. And then also Deborah Dicecca. It's Dececca. Dicecca? No, Dicecca. That's the way I would pronounce it. I'm Italian. And then also the woman that helped with the project last night, Loretta, it was a winner as well. So there's always opportunity to win things. I do also have a couple of of giveaways in addition to my usual monthly giveaways coming up. I just have been so busy that I haven't had a chance to post them, but I'm going to do that this week. So the giveaways are, I'm giving away a Cricut Joy. It's actually a package. It's going to be the Cricut Joy with some mats, some card mats, some pens, and some smart materials. I'm going to be giving that away, and we'll run that for a little while so everybody can get in there and do their thing and get their names in there. That's going to be over $200 value for that. And then I also have some Cricut bugs, some Cricut cuties to give away that I want to do this spring. So keep your eyes peeled on that, okay? Either on Miss Rita to the Rescue Facebook page or on the YouTube page. And if you're not following both, then you're going to miss it. So make sure you follow, okay? Awesome. Yeah, wouldn't it be, Teresa? It would be an awesome. Yay, Kathy, hello. So today we're going to be making these little guys. I made them last year as well, so you might have seen it. But these are intended to be candy huggers. Now, when I saw them, I didn't see that they were called candy huggers. So what I did was I poked little holes in their paws, and I strung them up like a banner, which I thought was really cute, and actually cut out some eggs. So you could do that as well. But this year, I got smart, and I got some Cadbury eggs, and we're going to put them on here. But I want to show you where to find them. These are awful cute, and if you have a little, you could they could even use crayons or whatever to color these in. You could do them in white instead of these Easter colors, and you could do whatever you'd like with these. I was thinking, for Easter dinner or for whatever, or in a basket, you could put that candy here and sort of glue it in there, and it's hugging it. But you can do whatever you'd like with it. I want to show you where to find it and how to do it. And I'm going to also show you how to cut your paper and use your mat for a Cricut Joy, okay? Because this project will be using the Joy because it's Sunday and we do the Joy on a Sunday. But someone asked me right before we came on, will this be doable on my Maker? And the answer is yes. Almost everything you can do on the Joy, you can do on the Maker or the Explore. It doesn't work the same way the other way around. The Joy has limitations that the Maker does not have, and so if I'm doing a Joy project, it's generally speaking going to be applicable for those other machines as well. So let's see. Before I get started, I just wanted to say hello to all my friends. Hi, nice to see you all this morning, or it's actually 1:00. I actually like this time better because I feel like I can use the afternoon to do house cleaning and all that Sunday afternoon stuff. So I hope that it's going to work here at 1:00. Doing the show 7 days a week is going to be a bit of a challenge. Not an unwelcome challenge, but a challenge because I have to come up with even more projects to do, but I have a lot of projects. So I think we could continue on doing the 7 days a week, and that should be fun. I wanted to let you know, if you're new, you don't know too much about me, my name is Rita, and I am a Cricut product expert, and I have this channel. It's called Miss Rita to the Rescue, and about a year ago, I started, because of the pandemic, I started this daily video program. It's live on Facebook, and then we put the reruns or the replays on YouTube. And we have created an enormous group of people that love to come and chat with one another and talk about their Cricuts. And it's really become like a little bit of a magnet for people who just want to have fun with their Cricut. And so we're trying to, so that you can, craft more with your Cricut. We have these lovely machines, whichever machine you have, and we try to do projects for all of those machines. So I hope that you can make it, and if not, definitely follow us on YouTube. Okay, so let's see. Make sure you, oh, and yes. Babs, our friend Babs, I'm not sure if she's on today, but it is Babs' birthday, and she's always so wonderful sending cards to everyone. So Babs, I hope you have a lovely day today. Happy Bark Day, happy Frap Day to Babs, our friend. She's one of a kind, and I just love her. I've known her for a very long time. So let's get started. We're going to use my iPad to do these candy huggers. Thank you, Eileen. So we're going to be doing the candy huggers on the iPad using the Joy. And because we're using regular cardstock, we are going to need mats and we are going to need pens. So really all you'll need for this is your Joy or machine, some cardstock in whatever color you choose, a mat, and some pen or a pen, hi Aledra, to do this project. Obviously, too, if you want to make a candy hugger, you need candy, and I didn't buy a whole lot. Actually, I bought more, but my kid did eat it. So this is the only one that he didn't get. Although I thought he did get it last week. So anyway, here is the project. We're going to log in and connect our iPad. You don't need an iPad, but you can use an iPad. You can also use an iPhone, an Android phone, or you can use a desktop or a laptop for working with the Joy. But we do need to have the app, which is right here. So I'm going to open up the app. I'm actually going to go to all categories. So when you open up the app, you should see something like this. Now, if you have a Joy, you want to set your machine to Joy when you're working with the Joy. Otherwise, it won't cut. So I just want to point out that if you have more than one machine, if you have a Joy and a Maker or a Joy and Explore, and you'd like to use your iPad for both, you would need to sort of toggle between your machine, and all you need to do is touch on your little picture, your avatar, and choose your machine selection. So in this case, I have Joy selected, but I could also attach my Maker or my Explore when I'm working with this iPad app. So we're going to choose Joy. Now, when you have chosen Joy, your projects that are shown to you are limited for what you can and can't do with the Joy. I don't know why that is, but it is that way, and I hear that they may be changing that eventually, but I just don't know. So if you are on the hunt for new projects and you have more than one machine, or you have the Joy and you just kind of want to see what's out there, because some people like to modify the project so that they will work on the Joy. Make sure you have your selection turned to either Maker or Explore. So this is the categories base. You can see up here there are three little tabs. There's Home, Canvas, and Make. So Home is where you'll find lots and lots of projects, and these are like ready to make projects. So you would just sort of click on them and go ahead and make them. But all the projects that you've created are also here as long as you've saved them to the cloud. So in my case, I have a ton of projects in the cloud, so I'm going to choose that. And here we go. Here are all my projects, and I have a lot of them, and I can choose which ones to do on this. Now, again, there are limitations to the Joy, so there are some things that I wouldn't be able to do, such as these things, which are print and cut. Joy does not do print and cut. So, but we're going to be doing this Easter candy huggers, or I labeled them Easter candy hugs. These come from an image set called Hopping Down the Bunny Trail. So, even though I will give you this file, I'm going to show you how to find the images. Okay. So I'm going to choose this circle with the plus sign there, and I'm going to replace the project that I had on my canvas. And so now I have a flat, just no project there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to image with that plus sign. I'm going to click on that. And you are brought to like a search engine, and then there are these like categories, or like kind of an outline. Want to touch on highlighted categories, okay? And I like to go here, image sets. These are the groupings of images that are available in Design Space. I think a lot of people, when they first come on, they don't realize that there are, I think, almost 180,000, or maybe more than 180,000 images in Design Space, and almost every single one of them almost are part of a subscription program called Cricut Access. There was a little bit of miscommunication and misunderstanding about Cricut Access. It is a voluntary program. You don't need to have it to work with your Cricut Design Space. It doesn't turn your machine into a brick if you don't have it, which is something I learned, that new terminology this week. But if you have access, it gives you access to a great many images, a lot of fonts, and a ton of projects. I think it's well worth it. You're spending a little less than $10 a month, and most of the projects that I do come from Cricut Access, so that I know people can get to them. There are other benefits to Access, and if you want to see them on the Cricut site, we'll show you the rundown of the different levels of the subscription, but it is voluntary. You don't need it, and Design Space is no cost to you, and there never was going to be a cost. So there was misunderstanding about that. Anyway, so here are all the image sets, and I can just sort of scroll and check out the different image sets, or if I know the name of the image set, or I can guess what the name is, I can just put in a word here. So we had one, these candy huggers, I think that came from Bunny Trail, Hopping Down the Bunny Trail. So I'm going to just put the word bunny in there, and look what comes up. I have all of these wonderful image sets that are bunny. Now, does it have? Yep, there it is. So here's Hopping Down the Bunny Trail, but also have a look. There's a little banner called the Easter Bunny banner. There's also all these wonderful little bunnies. And just some of these are older images, but they're kind of classic. So here you go. This is a great way to search, but you do it by a keyword, and the keyword is connected to the name. So you're not going to search by an object. For example, I wouldn't type chick and expect to get Hopping Down the Bunny Trail, because the word chick is not part of that title of that grouping. So let's have a look at this image set, and you will see there are cute little huggers right here. So there's a couple of different ones. These ones here are actually 2 color, and these ones here are the 1 color one. So I'm going to choose all 4. Well, wait, there's 5. So we've got a lamb, we've got a duck. Okay, we've got a duck, we have a goose, and we have a bunny. So let's pull all those in here. Now you see them down here. They're getting ready to be inserted. You type insert, and here they come up on your canvas. Now you can, so there's only 4? Yeah, I guess so. You can pinch and do all of that so you can get in closer to have a look at each individual image without distorting the size of the image. So each one of these comes in at, let's see, we'll look at the size. So this one comes in at 4.97, so almost 5 inches wide and a height of 3.6. Okay, but I think that there's one that is not going to work on here. Is it this one? Let me check. So if you notice, when I put these on here, on the layers panel, I have these little sort of caution things. And so if you bring something into your design space and you get that caution, you have to investigate and resolve the issue before you can cut it out. It's sort of a safety feature. So in this case, you'll notice I pressed on layers, and I am looking at this, and you'll see that this on the layer that says draw is where the caution is. So here, here, and here. So sometimes images come in and they don't have a color associated with it. So you'll see it down here as a question mark. So when you have that, you'll get that caution. So you're going to hit on that, and all you're going to do is sort of just toggle and apply, and it resolves that error message. I'm going to do that again. So I touch on that layer, that's draw. I come down here, I press on that, and I'm just toggling back and forth and hitting apply. So I'm going to resolve all of them just by doing the same thing. I don't know why this happens, but you just have to deal with it. I'm not terribly sure why it happens, but it's just one of those things that it might be because the image came from an older set or something like that. So now you'll notice that we do not have any problems down here. And we are good to go. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to need. So we're going to need for these 4 different colors of paper, and we're also going to need some sort of a pen. So I have a bunch of different pens here, and we can try out different things. But let's talk about the paper first, okay? So when you work with a Joy, when you're doing paper, unless it is smart paper, you are going to need a mat. And I have these 12-inch mats, but they do also come in a smaller 6-inch mat. I just find the 12-inch mat easier to work with because I'm used to it. So you can have one or the other. It doesn't really matter, but you have to prepare your paper to be able to go on this mat. Now, this is a 4.5-inch across mat and then 12 inches down. So what I generally use is 12 by 12 cardstock. You can also use 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, but I happen to have this 12 by 12 cardstock in all of these lovely pastel colors. So let's go ahead and use them. I'm going to let me just take the pink one out. And here's what I'm going to do. Make a little bit of room. So here's my cutter. It's called a personal trimmer. I call it a cutter, but it's called a personal trimmer. It's from Cricut. You don't have to have the Cricut one, although I do like this one and I use it a lot. So I found new use for this with my Joy because I have a lot of this size paper, so I have to cut it down. So what you need to do is just sort of lift this up, and using this ruler right here, we're going to take that 4.5-inch measurement for the mat, which is right here, and we are going to cut 2 strips from our 12 by 12-inch paper. So there's 1. And there's 2. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit extra, and I always tell people save your scraps because you can use them for future projects, and I do that. So definitely save those scraps. But now we have 2 pieces of perfectly fitting onto a mat. Let me just go ahead and do it again so you can see. I lift up this little sort of lever and I just measure at 4.5 and do that once more. This is extra, put that aside, and now I have 4 strips of color. Okay, so we can put this aside. And again, as I said, you could do this with 8.5 by 11-inch paper, which is the size of like regular copy paper. But I would cut it, instead of cutting it this way, cut it this way from top to bottom instead of cutting it in half, okay? So here are our mats. Now, a lot of people are new to working with mats, especially with the Joy. And one of the beauty things about the Joy is it uses smart materials. But if you can still do things like paper, but you need to use a mat. Now, some people have complained because the mats lose their stick. And that is something you just have to contend with any Cricut, whether it's the Maker or the Explorer or the Joy. The mats get used a lot, and so over time they get dirty and they collect little pieces of what I call paper lint, especially if you're using paper to cut with, but they can lose their stick. So a couple of solutions that I've come up with on this is that you can wash your mats, and it does help to bring the stick back. How do you wash it? Well, you just need to bring it to your kitchen area and get a little bit of dishwashing liquid, Dawn or whatever, a scrubby kind of a sponge, and a little tiny bit of water, and then just move the sponge all around on that, rinse it off, and allow it to drip dry. Don't pat it with anything, because then you're just putting that lint back on there. And then once it dries, you'll notice that the stick has come back. It doesn't come back exactly the way it was when it was brand new, and eventually you may have to replace the mats if you like that really new stick. Okay, Benji. Shh. The other thing that you can do is you can prolong the life of your mat by using something called two-way glue. There are others on the market. This is the one that I've always used, but there's also like an Aleene's, it's called Tack It Over and Over. This is the one I've always used. It's called Zig Memory System Two-Way Glue. And it's two-way because when you put it on, if you allow it to dry, and it comes in like a chisel tip, and you press on it, and then you put it on the mat, and you're not going to want to like put it all over the mat, just enough to kind of get some of that original stick back. And if you allow it to dry, it will fade from this bluish tone to clear. Once you do that, it will bring the stick back to your mat temporarily, and you'll have to continue the process over and over again. And that's sort of how it is working with Cricut mats, okay? So when you put the paper on, make sure it's really on there good. And you can, if you want, you can tape these on, or you can get new mats. I've seen people use mats from other manufacturers as well. And so there are all kinds of issues, but just know that it's not simply the Joy that has this issue. It's just how it is working with Cricut. Same as the blades. Eventually you have to replace them or do something to get their purpose back, I suppose. All right. So here we go. I have 4 mats loaded up with our paper. I'm going to move my Joy over, and I am going to make sure that I am on connected via Bluetooth to my Joy from my iPad. So I do that by going over here to settings right here and clicking on Bluetooth. And you see I have all of these things that have a Bluetooth connection, and Joy is one of them. And then if it was not connected, I'd just click on it and it would connect. Okay. This is different than Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people have some confusion over Bluetooth. Wi-Fi is what makes your device communicate in the internet. Bluetooth is sort of like a pairing of one machine to another, and that's what we're doing. We're pairing to our Joy. Okay, so let's pull up our Joy. What happened? Oh, here we are. And let's hit make it. So you get these choices, and as we've discussed, there's smart materials that you can use with the Joy. But today we're using paper, so we're going to put this on a mat. So we choose to go to on mat, and you'll notice that the Joy has turned our images sideways because, well, not this one, but these 3 have turned sideways because they're probably wider than they are tall, and that's something that it automatically does. Now, I told you that I'm working with a 12-inch mat, so I can go ahead and touch on this little square right here and sort of make some changes here. So I can go ahead and choose my material size, and if I change it to 12 inches, you will see that it does go to the 12-inch mat. One of the things that I like to do too is I always like to make 2 of everything. So I'm going to change the project copies to 2, and so you'll see that the machine has assumed that I'm using the 6-inch mat. So I need to make that change if I want them to work on the 12-inch mats, and I have to do that with each color. So I'm going to material size, and I'm choosing 12 inches, okay? And so see how this goes from one on a 6-inch mat and another on a 6-inch mat to both on the 12-inch mat? That's all you need to do to make that happen. Okay? And now we are good to go. Here are our 4 mats right before we have to go to the cutting screen. By the way, if you want, you can move things around a little bit if that helps you to save material. In this case, not really, but it's something you can try to do. So then we go here to continue. Now, this is the cutting stage. So this is where you're going to choose the material, and you're going to make any adjustments to how it's going to be cut. So this is where I'm going to choose the material, and there are, for instance, their favorites, there are popular, and then there's all materials. Now you can choose from these materials. If you have a maker, this is the same as a custom setting, okay? If you have an Explore, some of these are incorporated in the wheel, or you can turn your dial to custom and then choose from a list like this. Now, these are limited. The Joy does not cut some of the things that the Explore or the Maker does. So sometimes you'll see things that are sort of shaded out. Let me just check and see. I don't know. No, it doesn't shade it out. I thought it shaded it out. So we're going to go to cardstock. This cardstock is what is considered to be medium cardstock. So it's between 60 and 80 pounds. Most cardstock is 60 to 80 pounds, medium. Some is a little thicker. Some kinds are thicker. And so you'd have to cut it on like a heavy cardstock. Some are thinner, so you could cut it as like a paper. So I tend to use medium cardstock. Whoops, I chose the wrong thing. So let me go back. I'm going to choose medium cardstock. Okay. Now, because I'm cutting out more than one mat, I am going to check this remember material settings. So that way I don't have to choose my material again and again with each mat. You'll notice too that I need to add a pen in the clamp that always will do the writing first when you're doing anything on any Cricut machine. It goes writing before cutting. So in this case, we're going to choose a pen. Now, I got a lot of different pens here, and I just want to point out these are labeled Cricut Joy pens. Cricut makes a lot of pens, and some of them will fit in the Joy and some will not, but you can tell based on looking at the barrel if it's Cricut Joy. You'll also be able to look on the end here and find out what kind of pen it is. And you'll see it's not on the cap, it's on the bottom. That's because most pens from Cricut are best stored with their caps down to keep them moist, wet, you know. So we have some glitter. We have some fine point pens. We have some markers. I think this is a marker. Yeah, it has an M for marker. So we can choose whatever one we want. What I would suggest you do before you put it into your machine is give it a little test to make sure it's working. So I kind of like this silvery look. So let's try the first mat with the silver pen. I think it would be really cute. So I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to open up the clamp and take out this. This is your blade and your housing. Do store this in your machine because it's easy to lose this. And it's very easy for a dog to pick it up and chew it, and then you have to replace it, and that's not fun. So only take it out when you're putting a pen in. You just pop that pen in there and close the clamp, and now you're ready to feed your mat into the machine. This is all covered, by the way, on this page. See, it says load the pen, feed it into the machine. You'll also notice that the machine is blinking. So it's just sort of indicating to you that it is working. It's ready to accept your mat. So we're going to just guide it in there. And it does check. It does check your make sure you have the right material and the right amount of material in there, and it comes out the back. All Cricut machines do that, and so you want to remove some whatever it is behind you. Okay, so then all we need to do is hit go. If I hit it correctly, yes, and it will tell me that it's preparing. So again, it's going to do the writing first, and then it's going to do the cutting. So we have to allow it to do all the writing, and that's on both of those. I think it's the lamb is the one that we're cutting, and you'll notice that when it is writing, it does it in a sort of disjointed way. It doesn't write as if you would write. Now, I've been told that, or draw the way you would draw. I've been told the reason for this is that the machine is programmed so that it won't smear when it is cutting. So it allows that ink to dry, and that's why it moves around on the mat. You can't change it, and it's probably for your own good that you can't change it. So there is that there. So you can see it's already done one of our lambs, and now it's going to do the second lamb, and pretty soon we'll be putting that that housing, the blade and the housing back. You can see where you're going here. It's about 3/4 of the way done drawing. So it kind of gives you an indication. That's not a very scientific thing. Sometimes you'll see, if you're working on your other machines, sometimes you'll see it say 100% done and it's still working. That is just kind of a little thing. All the information about the cut or the draw has been sent to the machine 100%, but it's not finished completing the task. Okay, so that's what that's about. So these are going to look really cute with the silver on them. All right, so now it stopped, and you'll see here I get a message that says we need to change our tool. So I'm going to just open up this, take out and recap my pen, and get my blade, which of course I can't find now. Here it is. See, it's very easy. It might roll away. So definitely keep it in there when you're not using your machine, okay? So then close that and hit go again. And the machine will go and do the outline around these little lambs. They're so cute. So cute. We'll put in another one. I think I'm going to use that, the silver. This is a metallic 1.0 millimeter silver marker. Okay, so that's what I used, and this is for the Joy. There's another product that just came out not too long ago. It's a Cricut Joy Ultimate Pen Set, and there are 30 pens, and they are all different colors as well. Okay, it's done. All we need to do here is just unload it from the machine. And you can see, we're going to just peel off this. And there are cute little lambs with the silver outline. I really like that. So since I have 4 pieces of candy and 4 different mats, I'm going to do the next mat. So you'll see the next mat has come up, and if I want to change it, for instance, maybe I want to do the bunnies because I'm doing pink. I'm going to flip it over here to the bunnies. And I'm also going to change out my housing with this pen, okay? It says this all on this page. Put that in there, and we'll hit go. And while that is working, we'll do the last part of doing our candy huggers. And again, you don't have to make candy huggers because last year when I did this project, I actually made a banner out of them, and I actually just strung their little paws together, and I think I put Easter eggs in the middle, colored paper Easter eggs in there, right? So you can do that, but to do the candy huggers, you're going to need some candy. I'm hoping that this is wide enough, cut wide enough. Now, also, I would suggest that you get something like this. It's a glue dot. It's basically a dot of glue that is on a piece of paper. You see that? They're just like little glue dots. They're very sticky. And we're going to take one of our candies and let's open it up. I think this is a 4-pack. I accused my son of eating these, and he didn't even know what I was talking about. So this is a Cadbury cream egg. They also make, some other kinds of things that might be flatter to put on there. So I just want to move you a little bit. So here is what you would do with this. You would just kind of peel off these little glue dots. You could put them on the back of this. It's just a way to secure that on there, just like that. And then, I don't even know if I have my glue. Oh, well, I'll use the glue dots because they're going to work just as well. So here you can either take it off, like peel them off, or you can just put them onto the paper like this. Come on. There we go. Whoop. It can be a little tough to work with. Oh, that's messy. But let's take it off like this. They're very stretchy. All right, so there's one. And let's put that on there. He's hugging his Cadbury cream egg. And let's take the second one. These little stretchy glue things. And of course it's stuck to my finger. I don't know, there's got to be a trick to it, but I guess I haven't found out what it is. And there it is. Now, while we're doing that, of course, the writing is done for our next mat. So it's telling us to take out the marker and put in the housing, which we'll do. Close that up and hit go, and then it will do the cutting. Make sure you place the cap from your marker, and again, store them the cap side down. And there we go. We can move on to our second guy. Here it is. Cadbury egg. Man, I'm gonna date myself, but I remember when these came out. It had to have been in the 70s because I was not born yet. So I'm pretty sure that it was in the 70s that these came out. So, and stick him on there. And we'll try this again. So here's our little glue dots. And you could use regular glue if you wanted to, but I like the glue dot because it does hold that candy in place. It's stuck on my manicure. Oh, darn. Well, you know what, guys? If you're not new to me, you know what I'm going to say next, which is you'll do it better, because I'm trying like heck to get this done, but I know you guys will pay better attention, and you'll just do it better than I do. Well, maybe you'll come up with a trick and you'll tell me what the trick is. But these things are super sticky. Okay. So there we go. And we're going to unload our bunnies. So look, there are our bunnies. So cute. And we can continue to work like this. This is a great little project to do with a little, or with, like a group, a youth group or something like that. Maybe preparing for Easter, your Easter dinner or something like that. Just so much fun, and you'll enjoy it. Look, and you could try different candies, of course. But there you go. So yes, you'll do better. That's my famous saying. That's what I'm going to go down as being my famous saying, is you'll do better, because you will. All right, there we go. And that is the cutest little project, isn't it? Remember, you don't have to use candy, or you don't have to make these into candy huggers. You can use them for whatever. You can put them in a basket. You could string them together by their little paws, or you can use them as part of a card. It's just a fun little project. I really enjoy making them, and I hope that you do too. I will give you the project through a link after the video. I will get you the project link and put it on the description. So if you're watching this after the fact, look in the description, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook, and you can pick up that product link right there in the description. And hey, while you're at it, if you're not already subscribed, make sure that you do subscribe so you'll get all of these fun projects to look at. Not every project is going to be for you, but we do 7 different projects a week. So along the line, some of them are going to interest you, I hope, and you will get some, I dropped one. You'll get some enjoyment out of making them. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be doing Mystery Material Monday at 9 o'clock on Facebook Live. And then throughout the week, we're going to be doing all kinds of Easter things. We're doing some easy Easter cards, and then moving up to a little more, I'm looking for my Easter cards that can be done on the Joy. So here are some Easter cards that I reworked so you could do on the Joy, or you can do on any machine, actually. So I'm going to give you those. And then, let's see. As I mentioned, I've been working with crepe paper and my sublimation printer, so definitely tune in if you have any interest in either one of those materials. So I think that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we will see you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock for Mystery Material Monday. Yeah, no, we changed it, Lori, to 1 o'clock now on Sundays for brunch. Okay? Take care, everyone. Bye.